And now we have reached episode 79 of Star Trek The Next Generation. Remember, the original series only ran for 79 episodes, so with this one, we've tied with the original series as far as how many episodes we've had for Star Trek. This episode is called Remember Me, and it originally aired on October 22nd, 1990. It was written by Lee Sheldon and directed by Cliff Bull. And plot-wise with this episode, after the Enterprise docks at Starbase 133, Dr. Crusher welcomes an old friend named Dr. Dalen Quace aboard, as you can see in this picture. And as Dr. Crusher escorts him to his quarters, he reminisces about the friends who have died and how he failed to tell them how much they meant to him. And as Quace settles in, Dr. Crusher wanders off and finds Wesley in engineering. He's running an experiment on a new warp field configuration called a static warp bubble. Now suddenly the warp chamber emits a flash, and Wesley looks up and his mother is gone. Now the next morning Dr. Crusher goes to Quace's quarters for breakfast, but she finds it empty. Picard initiates a ship-wide search for the man, and as the search continues, other members of the crew begin disappearing too. Yet, once a person disappears, everyone seems to forget that that person ever existed. The situation continues to degrade until only Dr. Crusher is left. Now, during this time, an energy vortex appears twice, once in sickbay and once on the main bridge. Dr. Crusher fights with everything within her power to keep from being sucked into it, and in fact Wesley and LaForge have created the vortex each time, trying to rescue Dr. Crusher from the warp bubble. Now when the flash occurred in engineering, the resulting warp bubble captured Dr. Crusher, and her thoughts and reflections on Quace losing loved ones define the reality that she would experience. Now, Wesley and LaForge have been trying to create a bridge to Dr. Crusher's reality before the bubble collapses. And when all seems lost, the Traveler, who appeared in the first season of TNG in the episode Where No One Has Gone Before, is summoned by Wesley's thoughts. And with the Traveler's assistance, Wesley creates the bridge. Now by this time, Dr. Crusher has deduced what's happening, and she runs to the engineering and jumps through to safety just in time. And that is the end of the episode. Now this is really, to me, a very interesting episode and a great Dr. Crusher episode. And I think what I really like about it is it's such a great audience manipulator in a good way. For most of the episode, we're following along with Dr. Crusher and being very confused, while all of a sudden all these people are disappearing, and for some reason nobody has any idea who they are. Even to the point where it starts not making any sense. For example, it gets to the point where it's just Dr. Crusher and Captain Picard. And she questions him and says, "You honestly think that you and I are roaming the galaxy in this huge starship without a crew?" And Picard basically says, "We've never needed one before." And that's where it starts getting pretty comical at that point, because it's like, what in the world is going on here? And why is nobody using logic except Dr. Crusher? And that's when you start to really think, okay, this might not be the universe that we think it is. It took me the first time I watched it took me a long while to really realize I wasn't where I was supposed to be. It did occur to me that maybe it was just a dream. And actually, in the original draft, it was written that way, that it was just a dream, but that turned out to be unsatisfying to the writers, so they changed that pretty early on. And in fact, the character of the Traveler, who is brought back in this episode, was really an afterthought. They had the idea of bringing him back at some point during the season, as this really seemed to be the season for having family members or return of guest characters that people liked. And so they wanted Traveler in this one. They thought, why not be the way to help Dr. Crusher back into the regular universe so she'll return for the next episode? And I just thought it was really fun to see how that worked out. I don't really think the Traveler was necessary, but, it does make sense how Wesley needs to use his thoughts to communicate with the Traveler in order to get him to create the solution. So I guess in the end they did find a clever use of him, and we do see the Traveler again after this episode in a much different way, and Wesley's in a much different state than he is here. Now, I really enjoy, we really don't see Dr. Quace too much in this episode. He's only in the very first scene. And I wondered who this guy was. He's actually the veteran actor Bill Irwin, and I had seen him in a cameo of Home Alone. If you remember, the mother in Home Alone is desperately trying to get a ticket to get back to see her son, who is left home alone, and she's trying to sell her earrings to an elderly couple, and the guy in that one is none other than Bill Irwin, and he reluctantly agrees to allow his wife to buy her earrings so that this woman can get their seat. So I thought that was a nice little touch there. Yeah, this was just a great episode, a lot of fun, one that I do like to watch every now and then because I think it's got a great plot and some good action. You wonder at first, should Beverly be resisting whatever's sucking her away, and first you think, oh man, it's going to get her, and then you realize that's exactly what she needs to get home. So just a great fun episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment below and tell me what your thoughts about it. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next time.